Welcome to the Successful Thinking Podcast, where I will share with you the elements for a successful thinking process and we'll talk to people who have a successful thinking mindset. Hello, how are you guys? I hope you all had a nice Christmas time. Today, I'll be talking about the difference between a crowd and a community. So what exactly are the differences when we are living as a crowd and in a community? Following the statement of René Descartes in my first episode, I think that for I am, we can see that we are all single individuals, although human beings were born social. This means we were all born to be connected. As single individuals, we are part of a population. We are part of a city, of a village, of a country, of a continent, and ultimately, we are part of the human population. And as part of this population, we benefit from multiple things, such as security, education, health, and we can better look at these by analyzing the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Of course, depending on the different access and conditions we all have, we might have our needs satisfied on a more lower or higher level. But what I mean is this is because we live together, we benefit from the facts of being in a city. We benefit from having a hospital. We benefit from having public services, transportation, etc. So we then live together in a crowd. This means we will benefit from the value that each one of ours as an individual can provide. And so it's very common that we face competitions. We need to compete for everything in our society when we live as a crowd. We need to be the best at what we do. And this starts already in schools. We compete to be the best students in class. So we live in what I call a survival environment. We need to compete for our position. According to Joseph Gordon-Levitt of HitRecord during a talk at Web Summit back in 2016, when I went, and you can watch my YouTube videos. And by the way, I really recommend you to listen to this talk of Joseph Gordon-Levitt on YouTube, and you can search by putting Web Summit Joseph Gordon-Levitt difference between community and crowd, where he says that if one person has an idea but they are competing with another person, the idea that person had is not useful for the other one, and actually it's harmful for the other one because it hurts their chances of winning the competition. So that's it. Basically, we compete to succeed. We compete to get the job. We even compete to maintain the job. Not in every company, but in many companies, we compete to maintain the job. That's something I really disagree with. I agree that we need all to work hard, but if we are a team, if we are working together to the same goal, to the same vision of the company, we should not compete inside the company. We should not look for who to blame. We should look, if there's a problem, let's fix it. We also need to compete to have a house, to maintain the house. There might be for sure people that will not agree with this point of view, but the reality is that it is the truth. We need to compete. Even to get a house, you say, yeah, I did not have to compete to get my house. I just bought it. I just paid, I asked for a loan. But you need to compete because there are other people that maybe are interested in the same house. So you need to see who is the person that in the end will get the house. In schools, we compete to be the best student in class, so I can also have access to be in the best universities, and so on. So on the other hand, comparison to living as a crowd, when we live as a community, things change dramatically. So going back to the talk of Joseph to Web Summit, he said, to me, the biggest difference between a community and a crowd is that a community is made up of unique individuals. And so the strength of that community is less about the quantity of the people, but more about the quality of their contributions and interactions. Living in community does not necessarily mean that we need to share the same interests, but it means that we are all working towards the same goals and beliefs. Everyone is working together. We are collaborating, and that's the key word, collaboration. That's something really Joseph really focused a lot during the talk, collaboration. And living in a community also means that we can make things together that we would never be able to do without each other. So in order to better explain how things would be in a crowd versus community, let me give you an example. Imagine that the city of, whatever it is, decides that they would like to improve the cleaning system of the city. I don't know, they would like to improve the system, they would like to put new trash bins or new containers to make the city more eco-friendly. They would like to put more green areas. So they'd like exactly to make the city more clean, more eco-friendly for the citizens, also to give a better quality of life for the citizens of the city. The normal scenario is that the city hall creates a competition. For example, if it's about the new trash bins, let's design a new trash bin that is more eco-friendly, more visual friendly. They create a competition. So there is a prize for the winner, and then there is a project. Of course, in the end, the population will benefit from it. But it's true that the corruption here can play a major role. We don't know if the winner was a friend of someone in the government. So again, these competitions not always means that the best, or the one that will bring more value, is the winner. There are many other variables. But what if instead of living in a crowd, we were living in a community? Meaning that this project, first of all, there will not be a competition, there will be a collaboration, and there will be payment for everyone participating and collaborating in this project. The final goal will be much better because not only was the community working for themselves, for the community itself, but also then everyone would get paid for their contribution. So now imagine if the governments would work together. What if the governments would collaborate between them, between the different countries? What if the different parties would collaborate for a better world instead of competing to be the best party to get the elections? Which again, after 4 years, they are competing again to win the elections. What if we would collaborate? What if the parties would collaborate for a better country? And when I mean collaborate, does not mean that they need to share again the same values, the same principles, but they need to work for the same goal, which is better conditions of living for the citizens, for the population. So what if exactly the government, the parties, work more as a community and less as a crowd? What if in our educational system, what if schools would collaborate more around the world instead of competing? What if the public services would be more collaborative, so the government would work so that the public services would be more collaborative? And even in medicine, what if hospitals will collaborate more instead of competing? For example, if you travel or if you move to another country, the other country does not have your information about you. Of course, GDPR then here is another topic, but for those who experienced moving abroad, they face the problem of, I now have to explain everything again. But what if they already had all of this? And they could communicate with my previous doctors, then it would be much easier. So there is many ways where everyone can work more, and all the services and companies could collaborate more instead of compete. I'm not saying that competition is bad, but I'm saying that collaboration is better. So what if? That's the question. So I hope you enjoyed the content of today, and I'll see you guys on my next episode, where I'll be talking about everything. I will basically do a resume about everything that I shared with you in my previous episodes, and I'll also talk about the importance of reality, understanding what is a reality in the successful thinking process.